It's become a staple of New London and beyond for the last 10 years, the Pink Eggs and Glam Drag Brunch. We talked to Sky Casper and the team behind this phenomenon that's entertaining everyone, straight and gay. Plus, we take a look at other stories making the headlines from around the region. This is Connecticut East This Week. Hello, I'm Brian Scott Smith. Drag shows may seem like a modern phenomenon with shows on TV like RuPaul's Drag Race, but as a theatrical and cultural form of entertainment, drag has roots in history as far back as ancient Greece and Rome, where male actors performed female roles. And the term drag itself gained prominence in the late 19th century, initially referring to the long gowns that dragged across the floors during balls. Modern drag as a recognized art form emerged in the late 19th and 20th centuries, finding its place in vaudeville, burlesque and LGBTQ+ spaces. Each month, the Pink Eggs and Glam Drag Brunch comes to the Social Kitchen in downtown New London, and we caught up with Sky Casper, who started it all 10 years ago.
Hello. How y'all doing today? That was pretty lame, guys. I needed to wake up. Welcome to Pink Eggs and Glam. How y'all doing today? That was much better. I'm going to need you to keep the energy up there, okay?
Sky Casper Entertainment, 10 years of Pink Eggs and Glam. How's it feel? Because not only are you celebrating 10 years of this awesome drag show, but it was your birthday as well, so double celebration. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
So how did it feel today?
It started off slow. I was a little hungover, but it was really amazing. The crowd was incredible today, and we just laughed so much. And Lucy and our group that runs Pink Eggs and Glam have a relationship for many years now, so it was just silly, a little crazy, and a great time.
How did it all start? Doing something which is basically groundbreaking.
Thank you. I guess I started by offering something that kind of wasn't offered around the area. I think at the time, drag brunch wasn't really a common thing in Connecticut. So I started off with my brunches being very cheap and kind of like a hobby. And it was just like fun. And I knew a lot of people, so everybody came out for them. But then it became a business and like started turning into something bigger and more amazing. And it was just a joy.
You are picking some of the top talent in drag. I mean, we are talking RuPaul drag stars. I mean, they are all top talent. That takes something to be able to have that sort of connection as well.
It's came from a lot of scouting. I give queens that might not have the chance otherwise to have their own show and show their talents, and sometimes they compete. We have drag competitions at Pink Eggs and Glam occasionally for new talents. I need to see what they can do. I guess my name has kind of just like grown within the drag community, so when I reach out, people are like, oh my god, I've heard of Pink Eggs and Glam, even if they're in New York or like LA or wherever.
You've had this amazing relationship here in New London. I mean, you do these drag brunches across the state of Connecticut, but we're talking to you today from New London in southeastern Connecticut. We're here at the Social. I believe you said it's been about like 8 or 9 of the 10 years that you've been here. Not only are they helping you with your success, but you're helping them as a business as well, because it's tough as a business regardless.
Yeah, they've been an amazing partner. They have hired lots of LGBTQ people, so it's really nice to feel welcome here, and they are big supporters. They promote with us. We share success, and there's just not like a lot of things going on in the area that kind of caters to a community that wants to see a good drag show, and we happen to come in at the right time, I guess, and create something like so beautiful and amazing and so much fun, and we've just been able to kind of continue, I guess, you know?
We've caught you at a break because you do 2 shows on a Sunday, so I mean, sort of, you know, you have to ramp up the energy again and get reset, so we won't keep you too long because we know you've got a lot of work to do, but, you know, you've got a great team behind you. You've got Annie and Dale. Just talk to us about them.
Yeah, so Dale actually started as a regular at Pink Eggs and Glam. He one day got like 100 ones from me and just showered these drag queens with ones, and I knew when that moment happened that he'd be perfect to work at Drag Brunch, because I want people that are passionate about my drag shows to be working for me. I want them to offer the best experience that we can to the people that come out. And Annie, I don't remember how exactly it started. We've known each other for like so long at this point, but she just has this energy that everybody gravitates towards, and she is perfect for running the door and harassing people occasionally and just making people laugh, and we just all have a really amazing time.
The other thing as well is that you get people back time and time again. I will freely admit that I have been to many of them, but I am nothing compared to some of the regulars. I mean, you've got people who literally come every month, follow you around. I mean, that, again, from a business point of view, says huge amounts about what you're actually offering.
Yeah, we actually have a huge crowd that comes from Rhode Island, which is actually very impressive because they have a ton of drag in Rhode Island. My friend Joe, who is here, brought 38 people today, and I am just so grateful for the support. I need people that are willing to support and promote my shows. I can't do it alone.
We find ourselves at a pivotal point here in the US where, the LGBTQ plus community is under threat. How important is it for you to be able to keep going with things like this and make sure that people are represented?
I think that people are really appreciative to have a space to go to, and I guess it's more important than ever because everybody is kind of a little panicked to see what the future even looks like. Every day it seems like it could be even worse. We don't even know, just the way things are changing, so I'm really passionate about what I do, and I love to offer that safe space, and I would love to create more and more. I'm very proud of the lineup at Pink Eggs and Glam, and I'm super excited to be finding new performers that haven't even found their spotlight yet, And a lot of my performers are going in to perform at P-Town, Gunkwit, Puerto Vallarta, cruise lines, all types of Broadway. We have literal Broadway talent that performs at Pink Eggs and Glam, and I just am really grateful that I get the opportunity to work with these people.
What keeps you going doing this?
I just love it. I think it was the drag competition that was in January, I think, where I just found my love for it again. I was like, wait, this is incredible. We had so much fun and so many smiling faces. It was honestly life-changing. I'm so excited to be back to where I was, I used to love it, and now I'm back to loving it. And I can't wait to see where it goes.
Thanks for taking the time.
Of course, thank you so much for featuring us.
So we have Annie, who's part of the team. We've already spoken to Sky. Yourself and Dale are part of the team. How did you get involved in this? Because I'm going to let you into a little secret. Sky couldn't remember how you got involved.
Oh my God, are you kidding me right now? So I used to work for a full-on wedding service DJ, and he was phenomenal, and Sky needed someone to trust at the door, and hence our journey began.
How long have you actually been part of it now?
8 years. And to watch everyone smile is my goal at the end of the day. I love it. Love it.
We're here in New London. Do you do them in the other locations as well?
Absolutely. We've gone to New York, Boston. We've been all over the place. And it's always the same. Like I just said, it is a high to see everyone walk out smiling.
We're not only just watching the amazing drag queens, but we're watching you guys as well, because there's a lot of interaction. You often chase around the drag queens with these pink buckets to help them out because of the amount of money that gets thrown at them. A couple of months back, there was one drag queen that just kept throwing it up in the air, and you were so funny. Just talk to us about that, because you have fun with it, but it's then you have to pick up all this cash.
Yes, I am definitely the brunt of all their jokes. They enjoy messing with me, and I love it. I love being in that happy place with them as well.
Can you believe that it's 10 years, and like you said, you've been 8 of the 10 years? I mean, that's a long time for a successful business. It seems to be expanding.
You cannot buy happiness, and I feel like I keep saying the same thing over and over again. When you watch everyone walk out with that happy kick in their step, we know we did our job. It's not even a job, though. It's us. It's what we enjoy. We text each other every morning and talk about what we're going to do, and it's just pure fun.
How much do you think it means to the people that come here as well? Because you get a lot of repeat customers.
For me personally, just spoke with somebody who I know has cancer, and to ask how they're doing, to make sure they're okay, to look at them and say, you need anything, without saying it. That's where I walk away and say, yeah, this is where I feel at home.
We are speaking to Dale, the third part of the team. How did you get involved in this?
So I began with a nonprofit. Sky did a nonprofit show for OutCT that I was a part of, and I did it to volunteer, and I loved it so much, and I thought, why not do this every single month for every month going forward?
It's a lot of work. I mean, you make it all look so like seamless when we come in, and even though you do it every month, there's still some like challenges to it.
It's very challenging, but it's challenging in the sense that it's go, go, go nonstop. But what completes my day is when people leave and you see the smile on their face that they're going to carry on to everyone that they run into for the rest of the day. So if you come to the 11 o'clock show, I know they'll be smiling until tomorrow. So that's what keeps me going. The 10 years means to me that irregardless of who is in office, because I know there's a lot of turmoil in life, that this will carry on. It'll carry on forever and forever. What it means to me is to keep going forward, irregardless of who may be in that central office, and just continue spreading love and hope and everything to everyone who is important to you. And those who are not important to you or are having a bad day, just make sure they smile before you say goodbye.
Talking of smiling, there was a lot of fun going on today. There always is. A lot of sort of like energy between you and Lucy. There was some great fun there. Obviously must help with the job as well when all of you get on, and it's almost like you're in sync with each other.
Absolutely. Lucy and I have done many events together, and it started years ago with Southington Pride, and I just began muting her mic, and it became this somewhat laughable experience, and even the guests get involved. I mean, today she had everyone flipping me off, and I just went with it. And it's what I love about Lucy is Lucy gets everyone involved, and she ensures everyone has a good time. So it's always never work. It's always just fun with her.
For anybody who's never experienced like a drag brunch or come to something like Pink, Sex and Glam, what would you say to them?
I would say to them to, even if it's not within your comfort zone, to step out of your comfort zone, come here, start with a cocktail to loosen up, and just sit back and have a good time, because all we care about is everyone enjoying themselves, irregardless of how you feel politically, socially, economically. We all just want everyone to have a great time and let loose.
Dale, thanks for talking to us.
Absolutely, always a pleasure. Have a great day.
Joe, you come here to the social and the Pink Eggs and Glam. You bring a big team of people with you as well from Rhode Island. Why are you so supportive of this?
Well, when I first went to the first one in Hartford, which was probably 10 years ago actually, I found it was a unique thing, and I found it was a great way to get different people out together and meeting each other. So today I'm excited because I have 38 people that are, half of them are brand new, or I should say virgins to Sky Casper, Pink Eggs and Glam.
Why is it important for you to support something like this?
It's a good community event that brings all people together. Doesn't matter if you're LGBTQ, straight, gay, whatever. It's about bringing people together to meet new faces. A lot of people that come here have met new friends, such as I got to meet you.
Thank you for that. And also, I mean, the people that you bring, like you said, you brought some virgins today, as it were. What do they think about it? You know, what sort of feedback do you get? Because I'm guessing some come back.
Most of them come back the next time. And the reason why is because they meet new people, they extend their friend base, they expand their support base, no matter who you are, which is what's wonderful about Pink Eggs and Glam.
You guys love Cher. You don't love Cher? Sister. No. She goes, you were good. You were good. But you don't like Cher. Do you not agree with plastic surgery? Is that what it is? Because I've never been touched.
We are talking to Lucy LaDuca, the amazingly talented and incredible voice, I might add, as you sit here in front of me. How did it go? This is 10 years. I mean, you were explaining today during the show, and we're in the middle of a reset, so I appreciate that, you know, you're you probably need to get going in a minute. But, you know, how was it for you? Because you've been with them for a while.
I have, yeah. So this is 10 years of Pink Eggs and Glam. This is 15 years of me doing drag, which is crazy to think about, but this was a great show. I always have a fun time doing Pink Eggs and Glam because a lot of my shows right now, they're very, you know, I go here and there around the country and I do my 2 numbers and I don't get to talk to people as much as I used to, and so I miss this kind of a show. My favorite thing in the entire world is to make people laugh. I think it's the reason I was put on this earth, and so to be able to just have a microphone and make people laugh, it's just the best job in the world.
How challenging is it? Because it's an hour set, or a little bit over an hour.
You know, you're in heels, you're just like knocking it out of the park. I mean, let's just be real about this. This is not an easy gig. I mean, if you're in doing all of this, your courses it up. I mean, how challenging is it?
Not to sound too crazy, but this is an easy gig. It's easy because it's fun. You know what I mean? I mean, my biggest concern is making sure I know the words to the songs is the only thing. But I have so much fun doing this that this really it doesn't feel like a long time. I think we were about 50 minutes in, and I thought I had maybe been going for 25. And so when they told me, we need to wrap up, I was like, I haven't even done half my songs yet. So as long as people are laughing, I could go forever.
So, and I don't want to get too political, but, you know, you sort of mentioned it as well during the set, and I think it's absolutely right that you mentioned it. You know, we find ourselves at a pivotal point here. How important are things like this, not only for the LGBTQ plus community, but for people like yourself as well, because you are an inspiration to people at a time when we are so worried about what's happening.
I think it's the reason I continue to do this job. Because although, like I said, this was an easy gig, it's not an easy career. It's very up and down. You're really not guaranteed anything, whether you've been on television or not. So a lot of times I can feel a little bit jaded about this career. And then I do a show like this where I can see people's mood change because they're at my show. And that in 2025 is everything. I mean, everyone I talk to has this sense of like an existential dread. And we have to every single day find little things that'll give us just a touch of happiness. And so if my show can do that for somebody, that's pretty powerful. And it makes me realize how grateful I am that I have the ability to make people laugh and that they make me laugh too. So it almost feels a little like church in a way, because I am just presenting what I can, and I want people to forget about the outside world for the hour that I'm here. You know what I mean? And I think hopefully I accomplished that.
You've got an incredible following, obviously, on social media. What are some of the sort of like comments that people... Because I'm guessing you must get a lot of comments from people basically probably saying, you mean a lot to me. You know, you're an inspiration.
Yeah, you know, my DMs are tearjerkers sometimes. And actually, I get really lovely messages from all over the world. And I like to screenshot them. And when I'm feeling unmotivated or uninspired, or if I'm just having a down day, I'll go into my screenshots and I'll read messages from people that say,
we've got a balloon thing. We should just quickly advise that there's a balloons like arch that keeps it like that keeps popping. So if you're wondering what it is, it's not Lucy.
It's not me. There goes my boob. So those messages mean the world to me, because I get to be that person that gives them a little bit of joy. And as most queer people, I didn't have a great time growing up, and I've had so many messages from very young people saying, I saw you on TV and your story made me feel seen and made me feel like I have a future. And that is incredibly powerful, because I never knew that I could mean that much to someone.
We would, of course, be remiss if we didn't mention, obviously, the fact that you were on Drag Race. Just talk us through a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think what's cool about doing Drag Race is that, at least for me, I've been doing drag for a very long time. This is my 15th year, as I said. So when I got to Drag Race, it was almost like I needed to pull from the 12 years that I had been doing drag at that point, every single thing that I had learned and apply it to these challenges as quickly as possible. That was a really interesting thing, and it was really nice to go, hey, you know what? I'm not afraid of any one of these challenges. I'm not afraid of the impersonations. I'm not afraid of the lip syncing. I'm not afraid of the comedy, because I've done this for such a long time. So, it really is kind of like, a lot of people call it the Olympics of drag. It's very true. It is not a direct reflection of what it's like in real life to be a drag queen. It is a reality television show first, and then a competition second, which is such a learning curve. Because I could do this show with my eyes closed. Drag Race is completely different, because it's like what you do out of drag is almost more important than what you do in drag. And that was a big eye-opener for me. So, if I ever were to go back and do it again, I would like to think I'd have a different perspective on the entire thing. But who's to tell? Who's to tell? I thought I had my head screwed on straight the first time, and then I watched it back and I was like, oh, I'm crazy. Because it's not a normal set of circumstances. You're afraid, you're away from your home, you don't have your phone, you don't have your support system, you can't talk to your family or your friends, and I missed my dog dreadfully the whole time that I was there. So it's experience that no one will ever understand unless you were there.
Lucy LaDuca, ever so many thanks. I'll let you go and have a little bit of a rest, although you probably haven't got a lot of time.
I'm going to try to go over my words, maybe eat a cracker or something, and then on to the next show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
This is what I needed on my birthday weekend. You guys are wonderful. Have an amazing day. Bye!
And if you're interested in attending one of the Pink Eggs and Glam drag brunches, then visit skycasper.com for details of an event near you. Time now for a look at other stories making headlines this week. U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal, the ranking member of the Committee on Veterans Affairs in the Senate, convened a roundtable discussion with local veterans in the state recently. The aim was to find out from those on the ground how services for veterans are being affected with the recent federal firings of 3,000 VA employees.
We are going through a crisis, the VA in Washington. I don't want to sugarcoat it. VA in Connecticut, so far as I can tell, is still functioning at a very high level. There is a lot of fear about what the impacts are going to be of the freezes on funding and hiring, the cuts in resources.
Roundtable members consisted of veterans and veteran organizations in the state. Brian DeConto is a U.S. Navy veteran who now works for the American Legion's Soldiers, Sailors, Marine program that offers financial assistance for Connecticut veterans, and says when major illnesses like cancer or Alzheimer's happen, veterans are having a tough time financially.
With home care, nursing at over $300 a day, and assisted living facilities at over $10,000 per month, the only thing these seniors want is to take care of their loved ones. What happens next is that their savings gets wiped out. In desperation, they take out a second mortgage. Imagine being in your 80s and still have a mortgage payment. Changes need to be made to Medicare and Medicaid.
Blumenthal has been vocal in opposing the Trump administration's cuts to essential health care and benefits for veterans across the nation. His Putting Veterans First Act legislation aims to protect veterans and their spouses and VA employees targeted by the Department of Government Efficiency DOGE cuts at the VA and across federal government. The Connecticut Republican Party held a press conference recently at the Capitol criticizing the Connecticut Board of Regents of Higher Education. Their complaint is about a new role they've given to former Chancellor of Connecticut State Colleges and Universities, Terrence Chang, which allows him to keep his current salary to become a strategic advisor to the board. State Senator Stephen Harding is the Senate Minority Leader and said the Republican Party wants to know what the Chancellor's new job will actually be.
Last I checked, when you get paid a salary of $442,000, you should darn well know what your job is going to be for that amount of money. It is breathtaking what waste of the taxpayer money is going into this here. And it's not lost on me that he should have been fired for the waste of taxpayer money used with his P card for lavish travel and restaurant meals and everything else. And now we're wasting more taxpayer money, or at least state money.
Harding also said the Attorney General William Tong needs to move his focus away from just the Trump administration and look at what's happening in the state.
But how about we investigate the corruption right here in Connecticut? He has no willingness to do that. So it's not lost on me that he will not investigate Democrats or well-protected, politically connected state employees from corruption or fraud or waste. He wants nothing to do with that, but meanwhile, give me more money to focus on Washington, D.C. You want to have a conversation with me about funding things that are worthwhile for the people of the state of Connecticut? Let's talk about focusing on the corruption right here in Connecticut.
An investigation by news outlet CT Insider over the Chancellor's spending and expenses prompted a state investigation by the State Comptroller's Office and an apology from Cheng. The Board of Regents decided recently not to extend extend Cheng's contract when it expires in June 2026, and Cheng agreed to step down from his chancellor position in July. The Nature Conservancy of Connecticut has unveiled its $4 million plan to transform and restore marshes and an estuary at Rocky Neck State Park. The environmental group will be working with Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection and other agencies over the next 3 years to understand what is causing the marshes to disappear. Jessica Cañizares is the Director of Coastal Ecosystem Projects with the Conservancy and explained the importance of the project.
Coastal public access in the state of Connecticut is not equitable, and this is a great opportunity for residents of Connecticut to freely enjoy salt marshes and the beach and coastal woodlands. Our goal here is threefold. We intend to plan for full title exchange between Bride Brook and Long Island Sound. The second goal is to restore the degraded 80-acre salt marsh. And the third goal is to improve public access and recreation opportunities.
Tim Clark is the Resilient Southeastern Connecticut Program Director for the Conservancy and says they have a lot of data to collect to help them establish what's going on with the salt marshes.
We're going to be measuring the flow of water in and out of Bride Brook. We're going to be measuring the topography both on land and then below the water to really figure out what is the state of this ecosystem today. We're going to be measuring how much fresh water is coming in. We're also going to be looking out in the sound. So we're going to be measuring the movement of sediment along the beach, basically what the influx of salt water is into the system. We're going to be able to kind of come up with a series of ideas as to why this is disappearing.
Once the project is complete, the Conservancy will then develop an action plan of what will be needed to correct the issues and seek funding from state and federal sources to undertake the work. The total time for the project is estimated at around 10 years to bring the marshes back to life. Marshes provide multiple benefits to the environment, from biodiversity of plant and animal species to filtering clean water and providing local flood protection. A breakthrough autism diagnostic tool that can help detect the condition in children as young as 16 months is now available for the first time in Connecticut. The service, called Early Point Evaluation, is being provided by the non-profit Easter Seals Capital Region and Eastern Connecticut. Dr. Nicole Barcelos is Director of Clinical Services at Easter Seals and explains how the system works.
This technology is using cameras to track eye movement detection. It's taking, at rates of 120 pictures per second, and it's comparing where a child is looking at faces, gestures, other aspects of the social environment, comparing their looking behaviors to a database of other children that are typically developing, as well as those with autism or other developmental delays.
Barcelos also said it allows diagnosis of autism at a much earlier age.
Right now, the current average age of an autism diagnosis is around 4 to 5 years old. This technology allows us to make diagnosis as young as 16 months. That opens the doors to getting parents and children connected with intervention services at a much younger age and at a time when it's incredibly critical in terms of the brain development. This technology also allows us to reduce wait times by providing faster evaluations than our standard evaluations that we've had before. So we're able to see more people.
Barcelos says Early Point is used in conjunction with other autism diagnostic tools to provide a complete diagnosis of an individual. The system has been approved by the FDA, and anyone interested in having their child assessed can call Easter Seals on 860-270-0600 for more details. That's all from us for this edition. Do send us your questions and story ideas to the show via our website at connecticut-east.com or Facebook or Twitter at Connecticut East and on Instagram at Connecticut East This Week. And you can listen to the show again on our social platforms, on demand, and by asking your smart speaker to play Connecticut East This Week podcast. And please like, follow, and share on your social media too. I'm Brian Scott Smith. Thank you for listening.